G'day guys, anyone watching? Just give a few minutes and then we'll start. What you see here is open interest, and you can see open interest to the shorting side has increased, and therefore we've got this pressure. So if you're not familiar with this tool, it does make a difference at some in particular certain areas. So we can see intense yellow here with resistance versus support. So there's more pressure to the downside than the upside at the moment. But that's only open, that is what's current, so that's based on the books. People can always, the market can always come down at any time. So let's look at the other tool. This gives us numbers. These are the median, so obviously this is looking at Binance. Okay, whoops. It's very sensitive. Anyway, didn't want to do that. Here are the open orders. Big red one there. The greens are pretty good. So you've got 6.2 billion. Oh, I wish I can change that scale. It's very sensitive. So this was 6 point. Oh, come on. Looking at 6.2 billion with only 131 million to the upside. So that's more bearish than bullish. Not much pressure up there, and then you got the negative numbers coming down. Anyway, so let's begin. Okay, morning. Good morning. How's it going? It's going well. It's so let's begin. To my time, it's Friday. Okay, see the date. I think it's the 26th of October, and I'm currently in my area. It's 9:30 p.m. And I don't know if you've seen some of my videos in the past, but I did go through this chart. Let's do it again. Let's explain a few things, and you can see from my Fibonacci. Let's just see where that is. Let's just hide that. I did this setup, and it's very confluent, as you can see, the 1.14 all the way to the top, and it really rings a bell. You can see certain levels. I said this was a breakout trade, so we had a number of touches on that. Yep, and I said the complexity was with this trend line, and that was above the moving averages, and it found there was support, and there was bullish divergence and all the rest, and we had the breakout, and it hit the 618, and like I said in my video, the confluence. Oh, let me just turn the music off. That probably will help. What the hell is all that writing on the left? Okay. Not sure where this came from. Okay. I'm getting messaged. Okay. I'm not sure how that works. First time ever. How do I get rid of this? That sucks. Let's just. Never seen this before, where it just hits my screen. That sucks. Can't get rid of it. All right, let's do this for a sec. I'll just save this. Sorry, guys, but I'm getting a whole bunch of alerts on my screen. I don't want to see that. So get back to the. Yeah, so I didn't want to see all those alerts. Let's go back to the beginning. So what I said was this level. I'll just bring up the pen. We had resistance, support, 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 and you can see support there. And I said with these moving averages coming down, the significant moving averages, along with the Fibonacci, that this will be a strong resistance. And yes, it's turning out to be, because we've got a number of key elements on the chart that substantiate that this is a strong resistance. Now the question is, it broke down. So what we are on the daily, it's broken down below this key support. It's broken down below this fib level. So that's bearish. It could be a bit of a fake out to the bottom side, but at the moment it is bearish. When we looked at this chart from a small time frame, let's just do that. Where is this? If we look at that, we did call it out that this will train this small triangle here. First touch, second touch, third touch. So we said it's going to be a breakout trade to the upside and the measured move. So the measured move, the conservative measured move was that. Let's just put that in black. And we got it. That was a measured move. So we're playing this triangle, and that was the measured move. Are we playing out this big triangle? I don't think so. Not at the moment. That's the strong, and we can't get confirmation. The only way we're going to get confirmation is when it breaks this level. Right. So until we break this level, it's changing colors all the time. That's why I deleted it. So until we break this triangle, we just pretty much play this triangle out. This is a breakout trade of this triangle. We hit its target and pretty much drop. So this has just been played out. We haven't. A lot of people talk about this whole big structure, and we're not there yet. So that's my thinking at the moment. Now, if you look at, if we get above this, so if we need to, obviously this is a level that's very important. And I'll put my Fibonacci back in. Let's just put those back in. Where is it? Where is it? That one there. If we break above this Fibonacci, then rest assured we're going to this one here. And you can see the confluence. Now, what we have really is this formation is aligned with this level. This level is going to be nasty. And I would say that if I was to replay this Fibonacci, let's go there. If I play the bigger picture, all the way to there, you can see, give a take. If I was to play the fib there, or maybe this level here, I should get rid of these two. Where is that? And get rid of them. You can see that's the 618, right? So from the swing high to the swing low, the 618. So if we were to break this level, these moving averages have a lot to say about it. It's going to be hard, but if we do break above it, then this level is a 618, and that's going to be so I do think if we break this level, we are going to reach that. We could have a dead cat bounce, but when we look at this structure, you can agree that it could be a fake out. It could go like that. Now, what when you look at this formation, and when you look at a few other things, if you look at this formation, and if I was to just highlight this level, let me just get this out dark. I'm still bearish on the macro until something's proven me different. The only time I'm going to go bullish is when we pass this 22,500 level. That's me. Until we break that, I'm not going to go. Then I'm going to say this triangle breakout to the reverse side, which is usually, when it's something like this, it's usually a bearish formation. Our trend is still down. However, at the moment, we're there. If we break and we don't pass this level and we come back down, especially if we break this resistance, then it's going to go down. And I would say that, where is that formation? Let's see, where is it? I'll go back to the daily. Should come out. Where is it? All right, let me do it again. There we go. I'm looking at this structure. So keep in mind this structure. What we're thinking we're doing is this. So I think what we've done is that we found the bounce. Mind you, this is a Wyckoff structure up to this point. That it's accumulation Wyckoff structure, and this needs to continue on for it to be a Wyckoff accumulation. So we have something like that. And I could, it's not coming out. Okay, continue on. So here it is there. I'm thinking if that scenario plays out, we're doing that, and we can potentially come down. So that is the bearish scenario. Now, what aligns with that? And I'm going to talk about what can align with that. as we go through, but I'll talk about other chart elements before we come back to this. All right. So we're going to leave this for the time being, and let's see. Let's look at other charts and see why people are bullish, why they think it's the bottom, and where I am still. I don't believe we're the bottom. Well, I'll talk about what I think is going to take place with certain conditions. But before we do that, let's look at the other charts. So if you agree that Bitcoin is correlated to the big markets, then you understand my perspective. So what we're going to do is look at the SP 500. So that's SP 500 with the index, and this is the one with the futures, and this one on the top right is all the Fibonacci. And I've talked about these buggers before, and this one is the big macro. So what we have so far seen is that, let's just do this for a sec. That didn't quite work. Okay. And what I think so far has taken place is pretty much a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And what tends to play out after that is an A, a B, and a C, maybe there or maybe just there. All right, we can have that as well. Now on the smaller time frame, we've already had an A and a B, and this is what's really likely to happen. I was expecting a bit higher to the 0.5 or to the 618 on the small time frame on the daily. This is a measured move, so again, I'm looking at the 618 there. So far, it's on the 0.5 Fibonacci based on this small area. And then what I'm expecting after that, come next year, probably, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the way down 5. So we have 2 cycles, and that could be a deeper bear market. So based on what we'll look at and what people are thinking, inflation rates, interest rates, next year seems to be a real bad scenario. November, December, we expect a bullish market. So we still expect this to go higher. It'll be disappointing, very disappointing if we drop this month below this. I don't think it's going to happen. So I still see upward pressure on SP 500. Now we're going to talk why with other indicators as well. So if you agree with that, here is the weekly 200 moving average. And we've called it out, and it's on the Fibonacci level of a number of ways. So we expected a bounce, and we're getting it. So this level is a key level, as you can see, and that's going to act like resistance. But I think we might go above it, or we just spend a bit of time below it. But I think we could probably go up to that level there, and that triangle or that channel's there, and I think possibly we need these confirmations and then possibly all the way back down. All right. You can watch my other videos in detail about this. What aligns with that? Let's see what we got here. The RSI is pretty much doing it. The stochastics also showing upward pressure. So that's supporting that view. And here's my perspective on the smaller detail. Now, NASDAQ is doing something similar as well. So you can see the NASDAQ, which is aligned with technology as space. That's our main resistance. And we've got a bit of a rejection today, much more than SP 500. So Bitcoin pretty much played this out. This could still come back down and then do another bounce, and we probably get that W bounce. Yep. But if we break this level, it's going to be bad. It's going to go all the way down here. My long-term targets is somewhere around there for the time being. So even if we get to that level, I still see it coming back down. I can't see it being, if it goes up to that level, that's pretty bullish. But we're still watching this. And at the moment, we've seen this channel and it's broken down. So is this going to go back up? It looks weak. What else is aligned with that? I will look at my Dixie. Where's the Dixie? Here we go. All right, here's the Dixie. And there, I think more than 50% of the Dixie is based onto the euro. So what we said with this is what we can do is look on the daily. If we look on the daily on this chart, and I'll just get rid of these crossovers. Just my script. When these 10 and 20 or any moving average crossover, I get that vertical line. Anyway, so this is a parabolic curve. And there's a whole bunch of stuff I've talked about on the big picture. But in the short term, I did say we're going to find a bounce here, and rest enough. That's why the NASDAQ and the SPI 500 have dropped, and why Bitcoin has dropped as well. So we expected a bounce, and I said it was likely to happen on one of these Fibonacci's. And if we flick to the 3-day, it's still past the 10 moving average. So let's just put the moving averages there. Hold on. So we saw a bit bearish from this perspective on the RSI. It really actually is at the weekly, or is that the daily? Give me a sec. Okay. I'm just trying to line up my, okay. So I expected this on the RSI, either a bounce from there, and that didn't happen. And it actually dropped below this. So the 3-day is more bearish, but we're still getting this recovery. It's just a new candle actually. But we saw the bearish divergence in many ways. All right, so let's just see. Is it a 5-day chart? Something's not quite lined up. Okay. What about the weekly? Oh, it was a weekly. All right, sorry guys. That was a weekly. And this one's somewhere else. So what we do is we flip to the weekly, and it's still convergent. We don't see the MACD crossover, so it's still bullish on the weekly level. Even though the RSI has dropped, this hasn't closed yet. So that's a weekly movement. If this closes bullish, this could turn back up. So and if you know the cradle trade method, we have a trend, and we use these 10 and 20 moving averages on the weekly. So, and we're seeing on a smaller time frame, we had some response. So if we see another week of bullishness, we still could go up. So basically what it's showing is that the MACD is not going to cross over, and it could bounce off. So that's the bullish perspective. We still haven't got the signs. And if we were to split this in half, it's probably better. Let's just go to this one on the 3-day, and then we can talk about it more. So the US dollar index is pretty much the key is one of the keys. So you can see on the 3-day chart, actually let's go to the 2-day. So we've got a bullish candle there, and I can get rid of this for the time being. So that's, it's almost engulfing. So we've got another, that doesn't quite work. So it's 3 days. And I'm on the 2-day chart. That's odd. So it's 3 days when I'm on the 2-day chart. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, back to this. So we've got our bounce, and we've broken a trend line that doesn't really matter. It's just, you can you can do that and it still fits, right? So this is so when people do these things, you can't rely on it. I can say that, and that still fits within the range. So it still touches that, So you can't say it's really bearish at the moment. What we can say it's bearish is if it breaks this level. This was previous resistance, and if it breaks this level to the downside, then we are more likely to drop. I'm using the weekly 10 and 20 moving average as a trend, And at the moment, it hasn't dropped below this 20 moving average or this Fibonacci. So again, this support level, as far as I'm concerned, this is still within the macro bullish terms. Even though the RSI is saying this is a bit bearish, on the weekly, it's still within the constraints, if that makes sense. So the Dixie is still bullish, and therefore, what can we say the bull market still started? So this is, stock goes into US dollars, and so that we've got the US dollars in dominance. If you can sort of correlate those two things, when can we go bearish? Well, this is one signal. If we lose that, then we'll look at another signal, and let me pull that out. Where's my US tether? Give me a sec. I'll look at my other charts. Just bear with me, guys. Actually, this is another Dixie chart as well. That's the 12-hour. So if we look on this on the 12-hour, you can see how bullish it is. We've got 3 candles in a row. So this could still go up. Now, I don't have my tether here, so I'll pull it out. Tether dominance is another indicator if you're familiar with my approach. Here we go. And why don't I just do that? So tether dominance. I was hoping it will go up to there to be a clear signal, or around here, a double top. At the moment, it's finding support, tether dominance, so this is the 2-day. Let's look on the daily. We see the green candle on the daily. So tether dominance has gone up, meaning that crypto is converted to tether. And what we're seeing is this breakdown. So this is why it dropped and Bitcoin went up and so on. So tether is getting beaten up here, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon. So when you look at tether dominance, roughly there. So that was for the previous level, so we can get rid of that. You can see the confluence of that level, that line there. That still acting as bullish until we see tether dominance drop this level. Let's put on white. Until tether dominance drops that, we can't be bullish on the crypto. Not saying Bitcoin, I'm just saying crypto in general. There is some information, and I'll bring it out. Give me a sec. In our group, this is the tether inflow to the exchanges. So it's looking like very similar to Bitcoin. So tether dominance is flowing into the exchanges, meaning that they're going to buy up, but it's not something huge. We can see that it's sort of right there. It's flat. So there's not much flow into it. You want to see something really big, and I don't have the other chart to show you, but that's the tether dominance. So tether dominance is not that really high. I wish I could give you other charts, but they're so expensive. With the Glassnode and the others that are kind of, there's like $10,000 US for 1 year subscription. That's ridiculous. But that's the stuff that I want to get. I wish I could, but I don't have it. On-chain data, it sort of helps a bit. But from a tether dominance perspective, you can see where we are. We need to drop this to become really bullish. Let's put that there. And so I'm looking at, this is wave 3 to 4. Wave 5 could be that. But I have a feeling that wave 5 should be a bit higher. And that's based on this Fibonacci extension. And we got to the 1.272. I'm hoping that this tether dominance, whatever it does here, it's a theory. If it goes sideways and then goes up, that's where I reckon the bottom is for tether dominance. Ideally, this trend line could be possible to the 1.618, but I'll be saying that if we get to tether dominance around there, these two numbers, we probably hit the bottom. And anyway, the other possibility is that's the bearish perspective for crypto, and the bullish perspective is when we come down to this level here. Yep. So we want to see what happens. So we've got a number of support levels. That's that Fibonacci. That's the one, roughly give or take. And you can see how tether dominance comes into the picture and how it's aligned with our crypto. And we've looked at the Dixie. Dixie really needs to drop this level for the other, like the likes of SP 500 and the Nasdaq to keep dropping, also going up. So these are the indicators that we'll look at. And the last one that we need to look at is the total market cap. And the total market cap, I haven't discussed this for a while. When I look at this is our distribution model, and we've played it out. It's very possible, I'll need to change the color for a sec. When you look at this level, you can see it's aligned with this, and we play this out there. Now we're in phase E. Yeah, phase E drops, finds a bounce, and then that. You can say the total market cap is already doing that. And when we count the Elliott wave, 1, 2, I think this is a 3 and a 4. The question is, how high can this go? It could probably hit the 618. So if we look at that from a tether dominance perspective, I've had these lines set up ages ago, and again, this could go up to there and then come down. And if you notice the formation, it's pretty much, give us an example. It's again very similar to Bitcoin. If you look at that, whoops. This is my bearish hat, and I said the only time I'm gonna give you my bullish hat perspective, but this is the bearish hat perspective. This seems to be playing out still. It's not. If you can see that, it is playing it out, and this 0.3 to 4, wherever it is, it needs to go above this 0.618, and that's when I feel comfortable to be bullish, right? That's, to me, that will be confirming. If we break above that, that's going to confirm most likely that we're in a bullish reversal. However, at the moment, we're at this. You can see that resistance perfect as well. It's funny how they all line up, don't they? So keep that in mind. Let's just get in closer and have a closer look. And I love doing this kind of stuff where I draw my lines. I do. So what you do is you draw your stuff based on your theory and leave it. Don't adjust it. So I've done my Fibonacci lines some time back, and look, I didn't touch it, and it's hit the 6.68 and the 0.382 and a big rejection. And you can see I haven't touched this for probably a week or more. And I just put my lines in, and you can see the breakout. Perfect. So that was a good breakout trade based on this line. But again, you can see the resistance on the total market cap. This level is important. Then I got the 0.5. And then you can see how all these play. So if I was to, I couldn't join that as well. And so we might play in this range. But anyway, I don't want to mess it up. That's what I have with the total market cap. And when you look at it from this perspective, this Elliott waves chart, you can see why I'm bearish, right? Distribution is really well played out. If this is a wave 3 to 4 on the macro scale, then wave 5 should probably come down there. And I've identified it. Maybe further down, we've got these two fib levels. So I've made a measured move, and this to me makes sense. If you look across, we still haven't come down to this level. Bitcoin's done much lower, but the total market cap hasn't really dropped yet to this level. I think this is still playing out. The question is, how high can this bounce in this phase? Can it go up to there and then back down? Because it's still within this range. confinement, right? This LPSO could be this combination. So going up there and coming back down is what Ethereum did and Matic did, and they still come back down. So we couldn't compare those, but that's what I'm looking at the moment. So that's my total market cap approach. Looking at certain things, I think that's a strong resistance, but after we break this level here, and we've got the 0.5, it's nasty. It's a difficult stage. So that is the bearish perspective. Now we can look at the bullish perspective as well. So that's the bearish perspective. Now let's look at the bullish perspective. Let me see what I have. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. And I was doing it here. So looking at Bitcoin, and let me look at the see if there's any comments that I'll have to look at and respond to. Okay, so I'm getting good incentive. Thank you. So when we look at this, maybe that's what the alerts were from. So when we look at this and we align it with our Wyckoff accumulation, it is a bit complex, and this is the riddle, the puzzle that we want to work out. That was our selling climax, which pretty much aligns with that. Automatic response, clear. Secondary test, perfect. And then we had this up thrust, failed, perfect. It's all lined up, and we had this phase, and perfect, and up it went. So my blue dot matches that, and then we come back down. So is this the spring? This is the bullish perspective. The spring, well, if this was a spring, then why did it come back down again? That's the issue I have. All right. So let's just color that into dark. You can see my dilemma, guys. If this was a spring, we came up to here and then got a rejection. So if this spring should have kept on going. So that's one thing that's not really working for us when we look at the accumulation. However, if we look at it from another perspective, and this is, if this is the bottom, actually I should do something else. Give me a sec. Keep that in mind. I'm going to go to another chart, and I'm going to go to a big one. And what I've got to do, just clean it up a bit. It's a bit messy, so I want to find all these areas where I could. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Beautiful. Beautiful. What else is there? All right, we can do that. So when you look at this chart, from a macro perspective, you can see this one here, this moving average, 200, by an RMA. So this is, now I'm looking at things from a bullish perspective, right? You'll see that this is confluent with the bullish scenario. If you agree, historically, 2 touches. COVID incident, another touch. And we're there right now. Perfect, right? But in most cases, they were just a small touch. They didn't drag their feet. That's what I've noticed. Now, the other part to this is if I was to add 200 weekly moving average, let's just put that back. There's the 200 dailies. Where are we? I thought I had it. Okay. Where's my blue line? Okay. Oh, there it is. Put that in. Now, if I was to change one of these, give me a sec. All right, I'm going to put that into the weekly. The 200, 233, all right. I'm going to put that into the weekly, and I should make it 200. And I'll make it red or purple, actually. Make it purple. This is the TGA moving average. It changes colors based on certain aspects, but actually, let me just make it thicker. So what a lot of people do, they go, okay, 200 moving average was support there, but they forget this wick. They just ignore those wicks. But the RGM8 works fine. Here, the 200 weekly moving average found support. Here, it didn't. It went down to this one. So the 200 moving average is definitely, from a macro perspective, right? From a macro perspective, the 200, oh, come on. How much time have I got to click on this? You can see the 200 is probably a change in trend on the macro. So in some perspectives, you want to break that level, the 200, to be bullish. If we look at from a RSI perspective, now let's look at the RSI. That's daily. I don't want that. I don't know where I got that from. That's probably a weekly. Yeah, we're on the 3 day. Okay, let's look at the weekly. Still doesn't change anything. Not sure where I got that from. So if you look at the RSI on the weekly, we haven't changed jack really from a weekly perspective. Number one, people look at the RSI. Yeah, you do a trend line, right? That trend line hasn't broken yet. So RSI wise, I'm not bullish. There is a way of doing this as well. There's 2 layers. We can do that, and it's broken. So that was our pivot point there. That was one of the pivot points on the weekly. And if you saw one of my video posts, I talked about this structure. And so if you look at this structure, if I bring it back in, it's perfect. We find resistance here and support there. And this is all the Fibonacci. You see the 618 acting as resistance here. And the 0.5 is acting as support. We've got the moving averages as well, that moving average. So if we drop that, that's the next level I'm looking at. And if we drop that, that's the next level. So those things matter. Now, is this a reversal? Well, a reversal is usually above the 50%. So if we look at the 50% level on the week, 50% on the weekly, there is no 50% on the weekly. None yet. So that if we break this, I think, from an RSI perspective, you can see, if I was to make this big, you can see how, actually I might just bring that down a bit, touch. Now if I was to bring this across, right there, that's a pivot point, right? It doesn't go quite right. It's just before or after, unfortunately. But that is slightly bullish. But the main one is this, from an RSI perspective on the weekly. We got our 2 points of reference. We need to break this one. Then we have a chance to make it a pivot. It might go like that, or it goes up. Historically, we never had this before. These were very clear, but here you can see once we pass the 50% point, you can see how it just rockets. Past this 50% point, rockets. We nowhere near. You want to be conservative, I'll say look at that. That's another tip for you guys. And when I did this chart, I did an experiment, and I go, okay, let me just extend this. And you can see, let's extend this. And if we look closer, especially previously, everything fits perfect, to tell the truth. look at the support line. Hold on, let's see where that is. You can see how this theory works, that this was support on the weekly, and when we drop that, it capitulates, right? I'm still bearish until, and more bearish until it breaks this level. So that's my bearish perspective. I'll be ready to short. If it drops this level, that's the fractal. And if we use the Fibonacci level, so if we look at this lesson here, we use a Fibonacci, you can see the 0.382. So let's just have a closer look. I think we're a bit more bullish this time around. You can see the 0.618 was resistance on the weekly, and then the 0.382, right? From the bottom of this capitulation or selling climax, we do our Fibonacci, and you can see everything sort of aligned. Now, if we come back here, and I think I had it somewhere, but I'll do it again. I'll just clean this up a bit. And you can see how I've done it before. If we put that there, give or take, let's have a closer look. Well, this one's a bit more, maybe we'll just change this level a bit to line it up perfectly. So we can say, all right, that's our 0.382, that's about 0.68, we've got a rejection there, and that's our, and that's our level there. So nothing's really changed from a weekly perspective. The 0.382 hasn't changed. Until we break this, we're no different to the other one, really. So have a look at that. 0.382. What's the difference? 0.382 there as well. So I'm not going to be bullish until I'll start adding once I break that on the weekly. If we break that level on the weekly, we can be bullish. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be the case. We've got a bit of a rejection on the weekly, and we've got 3 days for this candle to close. So until we start seeing something like that on the weekly basis, we can't really be bullish. It's fitting into this scenario of that fractal in the past. All right. We might range for a while, but it doesn't look bullish to me at all. We just had a bit of a relief because of this trend line, and a bit of the RSI corresponded perfectly with that. You can see that pivot point, but is there follow through? No. The other thing that I can probably talk about is my Fibonacci levels on the macro. Let's look at that. Let's get rid of that for a sec. Look at this. Some stuff that probably people don't talk about, but look at the numbers, how they fit perfect, all right? Hindsight's such a nasty thing. My 0, my 1. Look at this. Okay. 618. Give or take a bit. 618 is perfect. Slightly over, but that was perfect. And then we've got this sideways channel. There's a different version to this. I won't go into it because I spend a fair bit of time. There's an ascending one as well. But at the moment, you can see the macro Fibonacci is really aligned. Now, let's see any more questions. Oh, hi. Yep. Hello. Let me look at YouTube, see if there's any comments. Oh, okay. There is a few comments. All right, let me look at these comments, guys. Just take a bit of a breather. Have a look at it if you want. Let's see if there's... Okay, hi, guys. Hi. All right. All right, optimism, we can. Appreciate your work. Saying thanks. Zoom. Can you zoom in with the fib levels? Okay. So what we can do is... Sorry, guys, but I've been watching the YouTube commentary. And there goes my UPS. All right. So what I can do, if you want to see how we do the zoom on this, bummer. Okay, we zoom in from this, huh? Actually, we can make it a bit bigger, and maybe, yeah, so we can have a quick look at that. What we need to do is probably make these ones a bit smaller text. Hopefully that makes a difference. And what I can do is make this in black. So the Fibonacci is like that. You can probably replay this and have a better look. But those are the things I have at the moment. And very much like that as well. So I can make that black. So you can probably see a bit better. I hope the UPS shuts up. There we go. The UPS is shutting up. Got a UPS on my PC because sometimes we don't want to lose it. All right, so that's what I have at the moment from that perspective. That there's a fractal, there's a 200 moving average, and there's the two other weekly 200 moving average as well. And this is likely to play a breakout to the top or breakout to the bottom, but at the moment, we just watch the layout. Now, if you want to trade this level, you want to go long, we look at the 4 hour again, and we'll have a better look. And we've got to get rid of this big color. Where is that? Here we go. Where's that one? That one there. All right. Let's just get rid of the background. There we go. We'll have a better look at that. Now, when we look at this on a smaller time frame, one of my methods is, okay, this was the, yep, all right. This is a different one. We're looking at this before, weren't we? All right. So now that I want to get back to, so we discussed the bigger picture. Now what I want to do is discuss this bullish perspective, all right? If this is the bottom, and we're saying, okay, it's not going to drop anymore, then what do we look for? And I've come to a theory that I'm going to try explain, and it might give us a way of trading. Where's this? Okay, that's the image there. No. So if this is the Wyckoff accumulation, what we want to do is get rid of these texts. All right. And what we can look at from an image perspective, I don't know where that is. Okay. We can get the accumulation out. Now that's the distribution, accumulation. The other one is we can have a macro, a bigger picture on this. If this was the bottom and it doesn't drop this bottom level, then we can start saying, okay, on a bigger perspective, we can say, okay, that's our selling climax. I'll change the colors for this. And we can say, okay, we're going to be here for a longer time. We can say roughly that's our automatic response based on that. Or that could be an automatic response, and that is there. So this is our secondary test, right? So that was our secondary test. And remember I was saying something like if this goes up to that level, or up to this level, and comes back down, then I'm more likely to, and it passes this level, actually with that 0.618 level, give us a sec. This is a theory, just talking out loud. If this is going to be a bullish month and December is going to be a bullish month, then we could probably play this out, right? And this might just go up to this level here. So we've sort of finished this phase. This second phase, if it's an accumulation level, we can probably come up to here, and we'll go for the details on a bit more, and then we'll come back down. And then the last final stage, as you can see, the spring might come down to this 0.414, for all you know. And then we go up. Or around here, it's still valid. And then the last final stage on the bull market. So if we see that we go all the way up there, we might just play this out. And so let's have a look at that potential. Could be wrong. So this is another bullish perspective. And let's look on the 2-day chart. I find it unlikely to happen, but you can see this is my thinking along these lines. If this was I don't know, 1, 2, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5. Yep. And this is an accumulation, like I said, and it won't drop. That's our secondary test. In some cases, unfortunately, secondary test is all you need, and it just goes up. And the only way we're going to know that is later on. It's very hard to know that that's the case. But what we can do is always look at the Dixie and the tether, and say if the tether comes all the way down here, if the tether's dropping, and it breaks this level, then we're going to be bullish, right? So if tether breaks this level or previous, then we could say the bull run started, and then we'll probably look for something up to that level. But these are the things that we're going to look at as time goes by. For the short term, we need to break this level. And we've got the 200 daily moving averages. So this pocket's going to be a strong resistance, but it still fills that model. Unfortunately, it fills that model there. All right. So it's going to be a difficult stage, but the first place is to break this level here. If we can break that level where it's currently, then we'll look on the daily, which is that one there, and then we'll see if we can get past that. And so we've got these Fibonacci levels and that level there. So a whole bunch of few fibs for this to be bullish. Now, that if you look at this in a closer perspective, let's see, any commentary? Right, that's all right. Continue. I'll just clean this out. If we play this squeeze, so if this comes down again, this could be a squeeze as well. If this could turn up, do a U-turn, then we become a bit more bullish, but we've got to see a cup formation coming in. That's how we can trade it. Otherwise, if it breaks this level, you know what? It's going to come to this. So far, it's aligned. So this is a short-term squeeze from a macro level. And we've got our first rejection. We've got our other rejection there. Again, A lot of alerts from somewhere. Just hold on for a sec, guys. Where am I getting these alerts from? Someone spam. Oh, you bastards. Look at this. They just add you to a group and bloody annoying. I'm getting all these bloody tech alerts for no reason. I hate Telegram for that. How do I get out of it? Bloody bastards. Leave me alone. All right, so that is a macro squeeze coming, and you can see it, right? So until that's why we're getting a rejection. This is a bit lined up as well, so it fits into many models. Unfortunately, it's not going to be easy. If you made a good entry down here, we called it out based on the small time frame. It was a good entry in our group. Where are you? We called this out. We said that was the line. That was a breakout. So we played that triangle and we hit the target. Where is it? Some people think, okay, the line could have been here, like that, give or take. So we've called that out, upward momentum, and if you're in our group, you'll have made that trade, strong support, and let's look on the 4 hour, and I think that was this one here. We did that. No, it was something like that, and that bang, and that corresponds to many things. All right, so that's what I got for Bitcoin. Now I'm going to look at a few other coins. All right, Ethereum. Is this the Ethereum chart I want to look at? No, that's not the one. Give me a sec, guys. And DXY. Just bear with me while I look at the charts. Okay. Dixie's going a bit bearish. I'll bring this optimism. Hold on. So let's look at that. I'll bring optimism across. It's a good coin. So I'll bring optimism. Let's see, where is our Ethereum chart? I thought I had it. I'll keep looking. And here's my other Ethereum chart, optimism chart. And I'll bring in Ethereum, guys. Just bear with me. Okay, here it is. My Ethereum chart. And we've called this one out as well. So let's look at Ethereum on the daily. Yeah. I think I did a video on this one. And what we said was if we look closely, it's very similar to Bitcoin in a sense, but more bullish. So Ethereum was holding this. So we've got a sideways channel, and we had this small breakout trade, and it turned out to be a big trade. So we had this triangle, clear support, because it aligned with Bitcoin. We looked at it and we said, okay, a breakout trade for Ethereum. I entered here. I was a bit late for that, but I entered here, and so far, I wish I did high leverage, but idiot, I didn't do it. So why are we getting this resistance? Well, you can see we called it out. I think from a number of levels. I'm not sure why. I think it's a weekly chart, weekly level. I might have had a Fibonacci, but anyway. So that is definitely a clear resistance, and you can see is it a breakout trade? we had this line here as well, and it's testing it. So this could, if Bitcoin's bullish, we can probably be in this range before it makes another move or down. Either way, but Ethereum is looking very good. We might hit this level. We can see that was a neckline, support, neckline, support. And you can see from this perspective that this distribution model, so this is our neckline. So we had a buying climax and our automatic response and support. And you can see along here, why is it orange? God. We can see how it went above the neckline and it came back down. So it's likely to find resistance and still come back down if this is the scenario. Bitcoin didn't do that at all. Let's just clean this up a bit. It's a bit too much darkness in there. Okay, there we go. And if I was to make this black, that's the neckline. And you can see how that's top structure. And where's those images? Can't find them. Let's see where they are. Oh, here we go. I did that to see where it's likely to go. If you look at Ethereum, it's like similar to Bitcoin, just a big channel to the upside. Yep. And I'm thinking this is wave 3 to 4. Wave 5 could probably still come down to this level, somewhere around here, if I'm looking at this model. So we've done this distribution model. We're still in this SOE, LPA, LPW stage. And we went up above it, like that, LPSY, and we dropped back down. So it's likely to, phase E is still likely to go down. That's why I'm a bit bearish. There's certain things that show that it doesn't quite line up for a bullish scenario. But I could be wrong. So I'm just explaining why these things make sense to me in this way. Go to S&P, all right, I can do that. Is it live still? Yeah, it is live. Yep. I was expecting S&P to go there. You could still find support here. So if you missed the S&P discussion, this is what I have. There's a lot of things I can explain. I don't know if people want me to go and explain all of them, but I am bearish on the S&P. Quantitative easing is not coming. I think 1st of November, the CPI results, and I think it's going to be about 0.75 is what people are expecting. Inflation is not going to drop, so they need to keep the interest rate still there. And how's that going to go up with those numbers? I just can't see that happening. I do see this coming down. I got the 1.618. That's one theory. This level here, and you can see this moving average coming, right? So if you look at this chart, let's just look at it. I don't know if this is the right chart. In the past, the 200 moving weekly average is there, but here you can see we actually I could clean that up now. I did this before. You can see how it dropped, and we did. I think this is a monthly. No, not monthly. We did this monthly chart, and so I can probably go over that as well. So we'll just leave Bitcoin for a while and look at S&P, and I'll go over some of the stuff that I've done in the past. Where's my 21 moving average? Is that the one? Give me a sec, guys. Okay, so we'll need to fix this one up. 21 monthly. And what we need to do, make it stand out. We'll make it red. Does it stand out? Oh, this one's... Alright. Default colors. Let's do... Just bear with me, guys, while I change these colors. Sort of get in the way. So when we look at the monthly chart, this is the mortgage crisis, right? And you look at this 3-day. No, we want to look at the monthly. It's called a kiss of death, based on Alicio's method. Look him up. And this is the monthly chart. And what happened on the monthly is this is a monthly moving average on the 21. And I think that is that. Give me a sec. Yep, that's the one. And what happens is when we drop below it and we get a rejection and we lose a 200 weekly moving average, it goes down further, drops a lot. We had that here as well. Let's just go across. We had it here as well, the 21 monthly moving average. So we hit the 200 moving average on the weekly. The 21 gets the rejection, and then we dropped the 200 moving weekly average, and we went down. So that's a second example. Here, the 21 monthly moving average again. Here it was acting as support, resistance. We had one more go, and it rejected. Now, that's where we are on the monthly. So the monthly hasn't even come to that level. And we've got, what, a few days? Not going to happen. I don't think it's going to go there. And it's not a bullish. If anything, it's probably going to close below it on the monthly candle. This is our level. I don't know where I got that from. But you can see from a monthly candle or monthly chart perspective and the moving averages, when we get a rejection from the 21 monthly moving average on the S&P, it drops. Well, this is the futures anyway. The others are the same. So if we were to go to this one, monthly, just turn it on. There we go. So 21 monthly moving average, same deal. We got a rejection, kiss of death. So it tried to go above it, then it got rejected. Now the 200 weekly moving average is holding it. So I think we're in a squeeze. Obviously that's a monthly level, and S&P is likely to break this down. And when I break it down to the weekly, it's actually probably better to do it daily. You can see that. The only reason why we're getting a bounce is it's a bit of a W formation, but I think that's what's going to happen. Or even here. Very likely. The middle of the channel, this middle of the channel is acting as support. So we're getting a bit of support. But obviously we have a number of layers. That's the macro fib level. And I'm still bearish for a number of reasons until we see something different. From the macro perspective, here we go. We've got the 0.5 Fibonacci there. And I'll use a number of references. Anyway, that's what's happening. Until we break this channel, I don't see, like if we don't break this 0.618 level, we can't be bullish, not really. The 200 weekly moving average is acting as support, and but again, I think that waves 3 and 4, wave 5 is likely to come down more. Anyway, we're just getting a bit of a correction wave, A, B, C. Yep, and that's about it. So now let's go back to the other charts. Optimism, we'll call this out. And if you haven't seen it, you look at my video. But we did, in the group, we said it's a breakout trade, very flat level, perfect trade. I thought maybe it might come down a bit more, but this line was our breakout trade, and I didn't expect it to move that high, tell you the truth. And all these lines were set up. Fibonacci was all set up, and so you can see the 6.68 is where it's finding its resting spot. It might be a wave 5. I think even the 618, it looks like resistance. I don't know if it's finished though. Let's have a look. It's a very strong move. So if we add this, give us a sec. So that could be wave 3 and 4. Okay, there you go. Maybe. But when we look on a smaller time frame, or 4 hour, nothing there. 2 hour. Okay, you might be able to go higher. So I do think Bitcoin's got a bit more to go, but it doesn't mean these guys can't go. The odds will still keep going. So this is, you can see from this perspective, yeah, strong resistance there, and probably a strong support there, and we've failed it. So it's broken above it, but it's come back down. We might just be in this range for a while before it decides something, and it really comes down to if Bitcoin drops a lot. So let's look at Bitcoin for the time being. Where is it? It's holding its level. It's a hard one, isn't it? I still think it's going to go higher to this. I think this is where, well, two things that comes to mind. This was a short squeeze. I remember calling it out, squeezing the shorts. So as price came down, and a few seasoned traders called it to go short, and I'm like, no, this is going to go up. I just didn't know how it was going to turn out, but that was a short squeeze. Now, the shorts, this is a strong short area. So we've seen in the past, this level is very strong in support and resistance. It's a key level. That's why I'm looking at the 0.618 level as the major area for. It might even just go a bit. So if there was a lot of shorts here, and they're still in profit, the whales might just push it a bit higher before it goes just above this, and they squeeze these shorts out, all these big ones, and then come out. So it could be a fake out. So it might come up to here and go, okay, this is the natural area to be resistance, and then it's come down, and it almost counts as well with the elite wave. So if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe we'll see how that works out. Just planning ahead, but I do believe this is likely to go back up, and this could be a good entry. Let's have a closer look. It could be a good entry for me as well. So I better just have a double look at that. So previous support. Oh yeah, it doesn't really fit any trading strategy. This is the hard part. There's no trend. This is a bearish move, and it's confluence with that. So would this hold? Don't know. I wouldn't do high leverage trading, not anytime soon. And the US dollar is finding a bit of resistance here. Oh, I should come back to that chart. So here we go, a bit more detail. Okay, so we want to start seeing a cup shape. If it gets another candle, if we get a cup shape, so this is the problem. This could easily do that, a short to here, and then back up. That might work. Here's a double top. This is a good shorting position. and then this could be a long position. Anything will take place. This is going to be a hard trading area before we go up. I still believe we're going to go up. Actually, look at this one. I forgot to talk about this. Let's have a look at this. I can't see it, but anyway. So that's working. Let me just fix that up a bit. So that sort of makes sense too, doesn't it? Bit of a channel. Finding the middle of the channel. Okay, that's working out as well. So that might be a good entry. And look, at the end of the day, I think it's safe, but I prefer to look, maybe go here. That might be a nice level. So that might come up, find a shorting entry. Actually, let's do this. Hold on, let's do this. I'll look on the small time frame. They're actually smaller than that. Give me a sec. So that was our, they hit there, hit the 618 level, and then went down there, hit the 618 level, went down there, didn't hit a 618. That sort of makes sense. Further down. Okay, so let's do this. Just put a few numbers in there, and I can get rid of that. Okay, so if this was to drop to here, so everything lines up. So if we were to, I'm just playing ahead. So if we were to drop here, and we get our Fibonacci, yeah, so that's our 618 area as well. Okay. So this is, the golden ratio stuff's really working on this one. So I'm thinking if this was to be a reverse, that will be a shorting position based on, where was it again? Give a sec. Let's just do that. It's a bit higher. So if it was to reverse from here, this pocket's going to be a good position to short, and then this 618 level, and then back up again. That's one scenario. So if we get a reversal here, how much is that? That's 3%. Is it worth it? Not sure. But then we're likely to get a rejection there and come back down. And this area would be a good position because when you look at it on a small time frame, it's a strong support level. I'll imagine. Yep, that's one there. And I did say, hold on, give me a sec. Actually, we should probably come down to there as well. Let's just do this for a sec. Where's my 0? I need my 1. That's what I need. So if it comes down to this level, that is a good position. It's still right. That is a good position because of that. But if it drops below it, if we play the devil's advocate, then this area is going to be a strong position. And we've got these moving averages as well. So there's two possibilities here. That this comes down here, and then we get a swing. But then this could be a resistance. Few scenarios there, guys. we've got to see. Yeah, I do believe if this comes back up, this is going to be a rejection, or this even that area could be a rejection as well. Short-term wise, that's short-term trades. We just got to watch it. Probably, yeah. We've got to look at the scenarios, but definitely that could be a resistance and back further down. If it spikes quick, if this moves very quick, definitely short and come back down, and that will be a double top, and then it will probably come down more or even further. So this is a dangerous move here. So let's go back up to the 4-hour, and you can see how it fits into it still fits into the channel, doesn't it? In the middle of the channel, or this line here. So there you go. Just thinking out loud. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. Is there anything else you want me to look at? I'm going to look at. I've got a few here. For the time being, everything seems to be stopped. GMX, I did the breakout. So yeah, GMX is one of those long-term charts. Actually, here's my list. These are the coins I'm mostly. It's not all of it, but most of them. And I said the other video that GMX is going to find resistance here, and it's done it in line with Bitcoin. This could, if you want to see a bit of a change in the candle on the 12-hour. Let's look at this on the 4-hour. Okay, there's a bit of a bullish candle. What have we got? We've got another hour. We want to see this just go above this level. If this candle closes above, it's likely to go more up. And anyway, it doesn't really fit into any strategy at the moment. It's just sideways. So we've got a bit of a bounce there. We want to see just if we engulf another 2 candles, that'll be great. That'll be bullish. Long-term wise, it might just go to the top of this channel and then back down again. So we've got 2 levels. One there and one there. And this is where it's going to really be tested, because I think, ignore that, Rick, but that channel is lined up with that. So it could go there and then more if the rest will go bullish, or it keeps coming back down. CRV, that's what CRV doing. Yep. So CRV still stuck. It hasn't. This could be a real nice trade, by the way. That's a breakout trade. If CRV breaks above both of these areas, that's going to be bullish. If it breaks above that, I would say go long. And wouldn't surprise me to go to that level of this channel, and then even to that level here. But this looks like a nice reversal structure in the making, like a triangle, doesn't it? But it could get rejected and back down again. But that's a good gain, potentially. GNO, okay. No, that was a video I did. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe way 3 or 4. It's really dropped. Actually, it's still holding the 10-20 moving average. It's not the best. It would have been a good thing to short. I didn't do that. Feel like on the scene. I won't do VET. Dot's not the best. Let's look at. I did FTM today. Let's see what's on the 4-hour. So the moving averages, 10 and 20 moving average. That was a nice spot to buy. Can it move? Don't know. It's really pulled back deep. It's not the best. So I won't trade that. Link's not doing well either, which is a surprise. I had this trend line and it's really not doing a good job. It's really, I can't see that. It doesn't fit. This works and it's really struggling. So Link is looking bearish, and this looks like a 3 to 4. So this formation, I want to see break this. Like this is a triangle, but it's dropped below it. Where's that one there? Might just come back down here for a second touch. So selling climax. This looks like it wants to come back down. It's probably going to. And then back up again. So that might be by the dip. Really depends on the others, but yeah. All right, Matic. Matic is the only one that's really doing fantastic, I think. So I had Matic and I bought that as well. I didn't buy too much, but you can see it's a hard one to work out. This structure I thought was really bullish. It might, but the breakout of this structure is dismal. It's not really looking strong. So Matic, but the thing is, when you look at the neckline, it's a hard one to work out because that is a neckline there. Like, I would say that's the neckline there, and actually, it's not bad, is it? Let's just do that. Still on above, yeah. So that is a key level, and still holding it. The fact that it dropped all the way down and then went back up, it's struggling to hold it though. That's the thing. What have I got here? That's a short-term target. If that's our neckline for this big structure, and bugger, this was a clear line. If you break that, you can see how things just drop. Wyckoff, that was on ascending rising wedge. Man, that dropped a lot. That would have been a beautiful buy. I think this is the bottom. I don't think this is like, yeah, that would have been a great buy because of the response, and it's still holding this level. Big time wise, it could be just a continuation pattern, but you can see how that came about with this. This is a hard chart to work out. I won't try to work that out now. Any other questions, guys? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to soon cut this off. Let me know if there's more you want me to do. I'm not sure why the YouTube one's gone away. Give me a sec, guys. I must have closed the YouTube channel. If there's any questions, I'll look there. VeChain and Link. All right, $3 Link. Oh, long term wise, definitely. Yeah, right here. Let's have a look at Link from. Let's just save this for a sec. I want to delete it. I want to see. Just look at it again. Weekly. So this looks like macro wise. Kid you not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy go 5. Just like Link. I'm already holding my Link. I can't remember where I bought it, but I'm still holding it. Come on, you crap. Why doesn't this? Oh shit. Let's just refresh this. It's annoying. I might do a separate one for Link. Let's just delete all this. Go for the weekly. Wasn't responding. So from a macro perspective, I do think. Where is it? Like I said, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5. If we were to play that, just the basics, make that 1. Link is going to the likes of that long term. So if this is a continuation pattern, assuming that this is it looks like a continuation pattern, like no jokes. Link is really standing out at the moment. This is not a bear market for Link, not yet. Key levels, obviously that's a key level, and it's holding it. Now, if we were to put I wonder if I should I won't put the chart in now. Think of a accumulation or distribution. It's a mirror of those formations. So what we have is that's come down. We could potentially do that and then up. Right? That's one possibility. I don't think it's going to drop any more. Lower than that, to tell the truth. Let's have a look. So that was the bottom there. 0.382, perfect. Look at that. Those numbers are lining up. The other way we can look at the targets is if we do this, there, and just put that in. This could go huge, by the way. Yeah, so the 618 equals 1.618. So $11, maybe. Just not Link. Okay, so that's. Oh, that is Matic. I just saw what you meant. Where do I get Link from? All right, I'm lost. All right, Matic. So Matic's going to be. Yeah, Matic could be really nice. That could be our target. Well, any of these targets anyway. So if let's see one more thing. Let me finish on Matic first. You can see that really. That's just like holding it. If it drops this level, we're going to come back down here. I think so. There's a slight possibility that it can come down to the 618. All right. So if we break this and it drops further, then we've got these fibs. All right. Just keep that in mind. And if that's the case, it's even going to go higher. So the more this drops, the more likely we can go higher. Let's see. What is this? Let's just do that. And what is this one? Okay, so if we were to drop down there, you can see even higher. So the ones there. Anyway, I won't play around with that. Leave it. I'm making an assumption. I'll leave that for now. Let's see what we've got here for a sec. The old charts there. Yeah. Okay. I'll delete it all. All right. So if we look at Link and Optimism, all right, and then we're finished. Let me save this. I'll delete it. I just want to start from scratch. Look at the bigger picture. Too much lines. Where are we? Delete. Look at the weekly. So if we're to add in our, I want to see what it says. Come on. Oh, far out. It's like, what I'm going to do is create a new chart. So you can see Link with a non-log perspective. Just looking at this was our previous accumulation, that there. And I'll just make it green. And the method is what was previous. It could be on top of that as accumulation. So if we just go across, okay, so I didn't quite get there, but that's that's our. So it could probably come down to this level, $4.80. So we've got accumulation there. If this drops this line, this next line is likely to be support. All right, that's that. In terms of target, if that was accumulation, so this is wave 5, I believe so. Let's do this. Actually, let's just add this template. This hasn't gone bullish yet. RSI is good, but this hasn't moved to the upside. 50% on the weekly. Let's look on the 3-day. Give me a sec. That's gone up, but this hasn't. These haven't crossed over yet, so still a bit bearish. All right, so, and that's a 200 moving average on the daily. If we were to add our Elliott wave count, that's wave A, B, C, right? This is potentially the bottom. And I did say, I don't know where that went, but I did say that it could come down to this level. And if we were to do this, yeah, I was right. Give or take, 0.5 fib. All right, seems to be working. So this is our accumulation. It's, in my opinion, being bearish, this is very close to falling down deep to this level. Measured move. The structure of this, wherever it breaks it from, potentially, yep. So that's a measured move. Let me see if I got it right. Give or take a bit. So this could drop, and again, it fits there. This will be a good buy there. What would it? Yeah. So it doesn't matter if the alts are doing well. Link has a bit more maybe to drop. Right. So in terms of, because it's done wave 5, it's doing a ABC. If this is the accumulation, and it took a while last time, what's the target? Oh, this could be really big, couldn't it? So if that was the bottom, let's try it out. Very similar to Bitcoin. I couldn't do it from there to the, jeez. Oh shit, this would go. Fuck off. That could be huge. Here's one method. Where's my so we've got the 1.272, 1.414, the 1 and the 1.414. This is a good range. That could, if this was a bullish market and we break above this, and this was accumulation, that's, and you can probably, this could be huge, man. Link could go really big. But anyway, Link's just started and it's very popular, so that's my thinking on Link. And next bull run is going to be huge. First level of resistance will be probably 618 here. If this is the bottom, I think what we're doing is, I don't think it's the bottom though. That's the thing. This is our 1. This is our 2. I do believe our 3 could be somewhere around here. Depends how the bounce goes. Let's just try something for a sec. From there, if that's our bottom, to the top, we might go to here. We might come up to this level, 618. So what we're looking for is an ABC correction, which I'm expecting. The sigma, A, B, you might do that as well, and then back up. Our bull market's not going to start anytime soon. It might even come down there, and then we go. So we need to see that finish. If this ABC correction, so if this is a bull, a correction wave for this bear market, we'll still come down again. I don't know how far, maybe to there. if this was to get to that level. So if we had this 1, 2, 3, then we have A, B, C, and then up. That's what I'm thinking along those lines at the moment. But it's got to be in line with Bitcoin, I suppose. So the bull, it's going to take a while. And anyway, that's what I'm thinking out loud. And optimism. So let's clean chart. Let's have a clean chart on this one. Where's our optimism? Optimism. Don't forget Solana, guys. Solana dot AVAX. There's no optimism here. Back up. Oh, here we go. early days. That's all I can say for you. This could. So if we look at this, actually we could say that's done. So that's a breakout trade. How high is it going to go? Don't know. The first target is this. I reckon if it's probably going to go to that level. Let's look on a daily. 2 days daily. So yeah, I think that's a go. Let's see. Swing. If that's the bottom. All right, let's just line it up. All right, that point, that Fibonacci is probably the best. It might get up to this level as a first target. We're still in our accumulation. So this, if the market's bearish, this is all it's going to go and come back down, and have some accumulation before it go up. Might go there. It might continue on. It just, we can't really say until we see it break certain levels. And it really comes down to, this is accumulation, right? Why? Maybe I just put that a bit more wick down. Interesting. Doesn't really fit in your cycle. So if this was to come up to there, then we have another reference like that. And then we play with it. But we only got, because it's so early in the picture, we don't have much clues. And that's the hard part. So this could be a channel. And if we were to think it aloud, if it's bullish, let's just get rid of that. All right, there we go. That might make a bit more sense. If this comes down again, so what we have is pressure there, 2 touch, 3 touch. We might just come back and then up. And a 0.5 Fibonacci potentially, or one of these ones. Just thinking out aloud, we don't see a bottoming formation here at all. This is just a reaction. This could easily go up to there. And then we can start saying, okay, a structure is coming out, automatic response, and then we'll see the rest. But yeah, it's a hard one because we don't have much history. And you can make any models, you can fit anything. I've been here for a while, guys. Let me see how long I've been here for. It doesn't quite tell me, does it? I think I started at, yeah, it's late. I'm going to wrap it up. Please give me a like and share. And yeah, guys, subscribe on my YouTube channel and join our Telegram channel. Otherwise, all the best. Talk to you soon. Cheers.